Hello, my name's Kevin, and you are tuning in to Kevin's Gunsmithing and Outdoors. And today we're going to discuss cheap, budget, and expensive gear loadouts and what you need in the case of emergency or emergency situation. And so I'm going to get started with this little guy right here. This is the Bofang ham radio, which I bought on Amazon for 20 bucks. Or no, sorry, Walmart. And this thing works great. So for $20 for a ham radio that you can have open lines of communication, line of sight, that is totally worth it. Now, the next thing I want to go along with is your ability to cook and to boil water, purify water, because that is going to be a necessity. You can survive 2 weeks without food. You can only survive 3 days without water. So, water is very essential to your purification. Water and water purification to your kid is completely necessary. You cannot skimp out on that. And I bought this from Goodwill 50 cents. So, 50 cents to save your life in an emergency situation, totally worth it. Next thing that brings me to is fire. I have 3 lighters in my kit just in case one leaks out, fuel, uh, something messes up on it, but they do all work. And if they do leak out, they're not completely useless either because it has, trying to show you, it's got spark to it. But also, I have what you call a ferro rod for starting fires, and I also have fire starting sticks as well too. So fire and water are bare necessities, needed absolutely 100%. And next thing that leads me to is shelter. This is a one-person hammock, earth tone colors. So your signature, your body signature, your surface mass per se, uh, is lowered versus a tent because a tent is easily seen. This is sleek, camouflage, and blends into the environment around you. This was not expensive. This was only I got this on clearance at Walmart for $25 and $44. Um, so a lot of people, if you guys do end up watching this video, they're going to say, you need a really expensive one with a quilt, under blanket, and well, that's all nice and fine and dandy if you're just going on a weekend, trips, you're camping a lot. Yeah, absolutely, go and buy you a nice hammock, for 99 to $150. But if you're not doing all that, at least have the bare minimum of shelter. And this includes a bug net too. So which comes to my next um type of gear, which is healthcare, first aid, not healthcare, first aid. Sorry, excuse me. So definitely get you a first aid kit as well too. This was $21 at Walmart. This has all your basic bandages, topicals, topic, topical, whatever. Your instruments and your wound dressings. So, and also people say, hey, you need to get a tourniquet. Well, tourniquets are nice, but if you're not in that field of I don't know, like your job description or your hobbies don't really, include that essence of danger where you need to absolutely have a tourniquet. A belt works as fine as well too. And then mask. Masks are essential. It helps block out particles. It helps out block out certain stuff that you inhale. A lot of masks are used in construction applications. demolitions. I work construction myself, so when I'm ripping out asbestos or doing demolition on a house or something, I always wear a mask. So these are always good to have too. An interesting fact: back in World War I, soldiers would take rags and put it around their face, and they would urinate on it because that ammonia, when there was a gas attack, that ammonia would filter out those gases, those chemicals from the gases that you're breathing through. So you're breathing through a fabric that has ammonia on it, and it filters out those chemicals from the gas. So that might be an idea. I'll let y'all, in your imagination, go there. All right, and that leads me to not only protection, but you know, you need to have the ability to chop down, cut firewood, and uh, create shelter. So these two items are I have a hatchet. You can look it up. It is not the most expensive one, but it will do the job. And I think these were $17 for this hatchet and this knife combo. I'll show you the knife. So basically, this is like a shortened mini version of a machete, and it is full tanged. And the handles are feel like they are high quality handles. Now you're probably saying, "Well, what am I going to put all this stuff into?" Well, I bought this is the most expensive thing, or sorry, not most expensive thing, but the one thing I invested in too that is really important. Besides any of the gear, you need to keep your gear dry. And this is called a dry bag. Don't get any flashy colors, don't, try to stick with your earth tones or your blacks or your grays or your browns, earth tone. And this baby right here costs $60. It's 35 liters. It's completely waterproof. It floats. So, and that brings me on to another topic as well too. If there's two people in the house, you have to have two separate kits because when it comes down to survival, what happens when you all gets killed, when you all get sick, something happens and you can't reach that other person, and you have all your gear in one bag on one person, and that person ends up getting separated or what, the scenarios I described before, you're screwed. So definitely get, per person, per household, their own kit, in case you all get split up, disease, um, KIA, and that's an extreme circumstance, but it is what it is, and reality is reality. So that's definitely one of the things that you gotta think about and pay attention to. And another thing, multi-tool. I have another one, which is a KVD, which is a Strike King, but this is an Ozark Trail, and this I haven't used it yet. I mean, it looks like it's good quality. Of course, yes, it's Chinese, but a knife is a knife. Corkscrew is corkscrew. Uh, a Phillips is a Phillips. A flathead is a flathead. So when it comes when shit hits the fan and it comes down to a wire, no one's gonna pay attention whether you have snap-on tools or Harbor Freight tools or Ozark Trail tools. If it works, it works. And also too, another thing too is along with the medical first aid kit, the mask, and all that, prescriptions, medication, and prescription glasses. Anything that has to do with your vision, your hearing, or your overall health, you have to have at least a 7 to 14-day supply to make it through until you can figure out what you need to do to get your medications. Whether that's on the end of extreme end, or on the other end of the spectrum where you just need to wait until the conflict ends and then you can eventually scavenge, or go find someone that has your prescriptions that are willing to trade for, or bargain, or pay cash for. And that comes to another subject too. Cash, when shit hits the fan, it's cash isn't going to mean nothing. It's gonna be as worthless as the paper is printed on, and that's just the truth. So if you can pack your bags, even if you don't own a 38. If you have some 38s laying around, put it in a bag, throw it in your gear bag, and now you have something to barter and trade with, because that's going to be another thing that's going to be extremely valuable is ammunition. So that pretty much sums it up for this video. I'm going to release this in a couple days, but you're going to be seeing me. I'm going to still be putting out videos, and people watch it. And if you are watching this, I do appreciate it. And thank you very much. And I will see you next time.